of laughter and sigh, they do revive. A mist-like shape entwines the legend and the lore into a conviction unsure. another way for you to slide. A far cry behind. You have admitted that you are a fool, but I am gone. Gone.
Hello.
Hello?
Hey there.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the show on our first Sunday here. How's everyone doing this week? Yaku, Isid, and Chat, and Wyatt. And I guess Wyatt's part of Chat, so shout out to Wyatt twice. What's up, everyone?
I've been waiting for a work laptop to arrive for like 4 days, and
Oh,
it
yeah?
hasn't shown up. And I was supposed to be finishing up the project Tuesday.
No,
So, pretty good,
no
I
tracking
would say.
numbers?
None that I've been given.
Well, that stinks.
It's always a very busy week before the holidays in my industry, so we've been pretty busy. And we've been pretty busy in game too, so
Oh, yeah. Yep. And I guess we should get into it. I guess the first topic on the list was the Midnight Serpent one weekend. What do we think about the Midnight Serpent? I'll let you guys start.
Well, I think the change to make it more often and to also have the shop out today is great. Big fan.
Yep.
the shop lets people feel like however urgent they want to about making sure they get the commendations, but they can also just go buy it with gold. I think that's really nice for the people who like just can't happen to be here at the right time. That's probably like the best way to handle the prizes for this.
Yep. Yep. And I felt we talked about it off stream a little bit, and I mentioned that whenever I saw the announce post for this instance, I felt like the way it was like presented was gonna kind of end up bad, but that I was, eager to see what happens later on, and then we got that announce post today. So I really like that they did what they did with the currency and the gold and stuff. I already went and bought my ore earlier, and that parrot is really annoying. So well done, whoever designed that.
Yeah, that parrot's going to be very useful in the future.
No,
Um,
useful.
I think the I I think the ore artifact is actually really really cool.
Yeah,
I think that's like the perfect example of a convenience item.
yeah, for sure. I already tested it earlier. You know how like when you get on a ferry, there's that period of waiting time between like waiting for the first message when you board.
Hmm.
It does not seem to speed that up, but like once you get the messages, it speeds those up tremendously. So I think that's kind of that's pretty fair. I think it's a good artifact power.
Have you happened to look at all the messages for the style scroll?
I have not yet. I did not get one yet.
So I found out today that you can view all the messages for a style scroll. I can send
Oh,
you the command if you want to put it on stream.
cool. Let's see here. Style, would it just be style Mariner view or oh no. Or preview?
It's style preview Mariner, and then if you want to get more specific with which one you're previewing, you can put that there. But if you want to just see the whole
Oh
list,
wow.
you
Look at
just do
that.
style preview Mariner.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's cool.
I've really only dug into the spirit ones, but I actually think the warden ones are really really cool. I like the Sentinel ones a lot too.
I liked the Revenant one a lot, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Kalsu and then a water weapon.
Yeah, I see that.
Also in chat, I see Wyatt saying that they're gonna use their topic when we're done talking about this one.
Okay.
It's a heads up.
Yeah, you know, like a lot of these cosmetic things are hardly ever my bag. But I don't hate them. I appreciate that they're in there for people that like them. The ore is probably the most useful thing to me, and I got it with gold. So
I'm pretty satisfied with my lightning and kinetic styles for Templar, so I like these, but I think I definitely have higher priorities on the reward list, or the shop list.
and
for
maybe
this
they'll
one.
add more rewards or things as the event goes on. Who knows? I don't know. But yeah, I mean, you know, there was a lot of contentious talk about the way this was rolling out, but I think I feel like a lot of that got put to bed with this announce post, but it was also kind of feels bad for some people to not be able to do it at all yet and things like that. I don't know if you guys wanted to talk about that or not.
Yeah, I mean, I think the announcement and the changes kind of address a lot of that,
Yeah.
because I think my big thing was I got mine done, and then I was just kind of like, all right, so I'm just gonna sit and not do more until people who haven't been able to get it done have gotten a chance. And now I feel a little bit less stressed about that. Not that it was like a huge source of stress in the first place, but you know what I mean. I feel a little bit less worried about that because it's going to be much more common. We know what the rewards are, and knowing what the rewards are means that if I do it again, I can do it again for reasons that feel a little bit more in character than I'm trying to get this currency that might uh, get me something later.
Right. Yeah, I like how it was handled in the announce post. I think it's funny because like obviously we put the topic on here and then it's like wow there's a lot to talk about it, but then I feel like that announce post kind of like just kind of addressed everything ahead of time. At least from my end, I know maybe Ice would like to talk about what we were talking about last night off stream, but it's up to you.
So my feelings on the topic, I think, uh, when it comes to feeling like it's hard to participate or it's hard to get into it, because there was that feeling of like a couple people or like a small group of people doing it over and over and over. Um, I found that approaching them and talking to them was very easy. And then I started getting notifications from them when they were putting groups together, or them saying, "Hey, we don't have anybody for it. Can you guys do it?" So when I ended up communicating with people on the other side, because in this event there really is no other side. It's all of the player characters against whoever it is on the other side. So it's cooperation. I I think once you start interacting with them, it becomes a lot easier to be a part of that instance.
Yeah, yeah. I just had this feeling from where I work so much lately that I wasn't ever going to get to do it, but I was glad that I got to do it at least once and get the fame line. I've never been one to grind some of these things, even if the currency, was limited. It's just I don't know. It's just not my bag. I like experiencing things just to experience them and say that I did them and have fun with them. But like min maxing a currency is never gonna be my thing personally. So, but yeah,
Aku, the character, just has very specific reasons to go against anything um, Dracothi aligned, but I've also been able to balance that out with being totally fine with letting other people do it, because just because Aku wants to kick every Dracothi he sees in the nuts doesn't mean he's going to be mad that other people are doing it instead of him.
right. Well, do we want to let Wyatt redeem his use my topic thing?
Yeah, sure, bring it on, Wyatt.
Click it. Do it. Use up all your Ilum shards. Oh, he did it. Wyatt says, topic, where do you think the event will go and how do you think it may affect your character? I'll let you guys go.
I was sort of touching on this. Aku is originally Sola, which means the Dracothi kind of war crimed all over his ancestral homeland. So it's also been, I want to say, real life years without an opportunity for any real pushback against the Dracothi. So I think how it affects Aku, Aoku, however you want to pronounce it, is going to be along the lines of he has now actually had an opportunity to get some measure of vengeance, and so the question is going to be, is he going to be like, that felt good, or is he going to feel like that was nowhere near enough? And I don't know, I guess I'll find out as I play the character.
Yeah. Do you want to go next, Isid, or you want me to go next?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, from the Honorian perspective on here, with it having to do, like, originally, we saw the Hekathi corpse when the docks got blown up, and then now there's this Midnight Serpent ship, and then a little bit ago the our ship got revealed, and we're going to do some more with that event later on, I believe. But I have a feeling that it's obvious that all that's tied together, and there's going to be some kind of ship battle at some point. Who knows how many ships they'll bring though versus our one ship, and whether it then has to spiral into like us using more measures than just our ship, But we'll see what happens. I have no idea. I'm interested to see what happens. I think it's fascinating. As for how it would affect my character, I mean, it would just be more opportunity for him to just kind of do his duty. He doesn't really know much about the Dracathi one way or another, honestly, because he's a younger character. So
It was my understanding that the Hecate and the Midnight Serpent only really showed up when Copperhead stopped a bunch of them near the confluence. I think the next step in this event is probably starting to discover why they wanted to get near the confluence now that fighting them off might not be as big of a deal. And I guess finding out any more motivations of your enemies will change your character, but based like on not knowing what that motivation is yet, I can't really say how it would change him.
right,
I think there's also to consider, we had a very brief conversation on City Tells in Duiran regarding the Hekathi, because, I mean, Aku is going to assume that the Hekathi are doing something for the Dracothi. But there is also the question of, are the Hekathi maybe working alongside Evolamon instead? Are they Evolamon cultists? Is that who's crewing the ship? Because someone has pointed out that daemons would not really be Evolamon's only followers, because the gods draw their strength from worshippers and prayer, and daemons can't really fill that requirement, to my understanding.
right. Interesting. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Well, it should be great seeing how it all goes. I have a feeling there's going to be some surprises for us and stuff. I'm sure things will wind up going differently than any of us expect, and that's a great thing, I think.
I'm very curious to see where the confluence event goes. And part of the reason why is because if you go to that room and check the date command, it's a very interesting thing if you check it repeatedly. I'm curious how everything ties together there.
Oh yeah. So, would you guys like to continue on to the next topic, or is there anything else you wanted to say about what Wyatt asked or the Midnight Serpent?
Oh, I did want to say the the event itself, or not the event, the instance, I guess, of the Midnight Serpent,
Hmm.
very fun. I had a good time. I could not see anything, but I think that's because my map was not updated. But otherwise, very fun.
Yeah. To me, it felt like you have to like take it at a certain pace, but then like the instance itself isn't overly long. You know, like it feels bite sized enough, but also challenging. It's a good balance.
The encounter seems really really cool. I've done it a couple times now. It's really fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I've done it twice and finished it once. So it was nice to finish it. It was funny though. I was doing it with Katria was leading us, and she didn't tell us until it was about to explode that we needed to run. I was following her, and I think someone else was too. But like we all followed her out, and we ran, and but like two of them didn't know and weren't following, and then they died. But I don't know.
Some light spoilers for anyone in the chat who doesn't want to hear.
Oh yeah, well,
Close your ears. But I am curious if anyone has managed to grab the letters and quartermaster reports that are on the desk in the room that the captain is originally.
no, I didn't see that. That's interesting. If I get a chance to go in again, I'll definitely take a look. All right, let's see here. Okay, shall we talk about some of the change logs and announce posts from the week? I can't
Sure.
even remember what we had here. Let's see. Let's look at the latest change log.
The fire lash and ice wall changes and the firewall changes.
Oh yeah, here they are. The latest one was just the one about survival crashing is successful. 100% successful if there's a person on the other side of the ice wall. That makes sense. And then I don't know, like, you know what's funny is like I know that a lot of these changes in this walls and skills tweak posts are, you know, geared around walls and interacting with them and stuff. But like when I see Firelash basically getting buffed, it makes my heart happy, you know, because of teapots. But
Up until this changelog, I'm pretty sure combustion didn't cost any equilibrium.
oh great.
Yeah, so this was like a huge change because this had just been discussed in web like maybe a couple hours before this changelog. I felt like.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm kind of glad to see that what Carrick saw kind of falls in line with what we were talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially the combustion manipulation change.
Yeah, and the neck jack change too.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird little things that are in like, you know, older skills and abilities. And I guess neck drag is no different. What I'd like to see get addressed with this is something we've all noticed, but and we noticed before this was posted, but it didn't get changed, and that's the fact that you can throw shockwave bombs through ice walls, which seems very bizarre to me.
Can you?
Yes, that's happened to us multiple times at Lessers. Ceremus is the only one doing it, but yeah, there'll be ice walls up, and you'll start losing balance because you're being hit with shockwave bombs.
I think I'm kind of at the point where nothing shockwave bomb can ever hit me as hard as that one orrery I was at. So being off balance for a little bit doesn't hurt me that much.
Yeah,
But I do think it is kind of weird logically. Like,
yeah.
are they lobbing it over the ice wall? I think that kind of makes
Well,
sense. But I don't really know because
yeah,
you can't shoot over it.
yeah, but I think, you know, I guess it kind of makes sense if you imagine them throwing it over it, but like I don't know. At that point, why couldn't you just shoot an arrow over top of it either? You know?
I would guess it's because a shockwave bomb, if you throw it over, you don't really need to have pinpoint accuracy.
I guess so.
Whereas with an arrow, you gotta actually see who you're aiming at,
Yeah, I guess so.
ideally.
The Aeon change, you'll love to see it.
Yep.
Especially, just as like a side note, I especially like change logs like this where there's a bit more of a detailed explanation for it. So understanding where they're coming from with changing Aeon or changing Sentinel, just like being very upfront about it in the changelog is nice.
Yeah. And circling back to the ice wall thing, Yedev says in chat you can scale over an ice wall. I guess if you I wonder how tall an ice wall is actually. That's a good question. Is it in the description of it? I wonder
It's
like
short enough that you can jump over it.
that's fair
But
because you
that's
can
like
leap.
whatever our superpowered legs leap height is.
Yeah. Or our mounts. Yeah. Yeah. That's weird. I don't know. I guess you have to suspend disbelief on some of this stuff. But yeah, about Aeon and Hourglass, it's Aeon is Aeon. It's annoying no matter what decade we're in real life. So yeah, I mean, I just I don't know. I'm a little skeptical of that because I think it's like kind of weird that it got changed like that so drastically. Because like that's a 50% increase, and it's like only happened once we got the class. So
Well, I think a lot of it, with a lot of these mirrors, you see a lot more people playing the mirror as soon as it comes out. Whereas before, for example, you didn't see a lot of Luminary or a lot of Indorani in Sect. Um, as soon as the mirror comes out, you see a lot of people testing it, or one person testing it a lot. So I think it's a lot easier to get relevant data after the mirror release.
Yeah,
Um,
you kind of catch up on data there. That's actually a really good point.
yeah, I just don't like all things aside between me and Almol, I still don't like what happened with Psyomancer before, and I feel like I don't like the idea of like things get changed that are the same way they've been forever, but only when someone or a few people start using it. Like I just it's a weird thing to me.
I think it's because we don't really have a lot of the population of Sect is not super high, so there's not really a whole range of ways to gather data other than Sect. So, for example, if I discovered, I don't know, let's say I somehow discover that there's something nobody's been doing with Sentinel that's incredibly overpowered, and I use that in Sect a few times, yeah, should probably be nerfed. Because
I don't know.
yeah, like Keegan points out, there's like 3 to 5 people that routinely sect. Sometimes one person is going to find something that other people hadn't found before, and it's super unbalanced. You could go back to the blade fire lightning discussion too. I was testing it right before it got changed, and it was super busted. And I don't know how many people were actually using it in Sect at the time, but you could essentially spend 50 blade charge to epilepsy, stupidity, um, mental disruption, and lock from there really easily.
Yeah, but it's like everybody's always being like, "Oh, you need to do sect in order to get this position, or you should do sect more." And why aren't you doing sect? And I'm just like I said before, it's like I would have to put all this effort into doing sect and being good at it, and then the end result, like if I do manage to get good at it and find something that works for me, would probably just be people getting the thing that I found nerfed, and I don't understand that. I don't know.
Well, I think it's because there's not really as much 1v1 going on outside of Sect, basically.
Yeah, I guess so.
Um, I think I've had one, two duels in recent memory outside of Sect for RP reasons, and I enjoyed both of them. But Sect is the best place to look for like how things stand currently in a 1v1 meta, I think.
Yeah, I reckon so. I'm just I don't know. I anytime I see things get changed like constantly and repeatedly, especially in like a reaction to like one or two people, it's just I don't know, it feels weird to me. But that's okay. It is what it is. Not everything
Oh.
needs to be for me.
The once one person finds a way to do it, I think it becomes a little more commonplace over time once people see success with it. So sometimes it's better to nip it in the bud, when it's one or two people instead. Just a better play experience for people overall.
Yeah, I thought that was Elliot on, but did not want to assume and be wrong and stupid in public. So
Yeah, you really pulverized that bot. I said, good job. Swinging that band hammer. All right. Yeah, there's some good stuff here. It's interesting to see these tweaks. Honestly, like I wish we saw tweaks like this more often, like instead of just straight up like smashing something into uselessness that we see sometimes. So,
I did want to talk a little bit more about the change to dizziness, to hidden dizziness.
okay.
Just because, is there any class other than Archivist that can give hidden dizziness? Because they're the only one that comes to mind immediately.
Uh is dizziness an affliction in vocalizing? I can't remember.
I do not know.
Let me see here. Maybe not. I feel like maybe it was one. Let me pull my. I actually went through the vocalizing one time a long time ago and literally converted every single ability in a notepad into what the actual affliction is. So let me see here.
I forget if Death Aura is hidden. I don't think it is. I might be wrong.
Yeah, actually, I don't see dizziness in here. Interesting.
I don't think Death Aura is hidden. Yeah, no, I was just curious because I understand the logic behind the decision of, I think, Karok and a lot of people who sect want to make sect less reset heavy, and hidden dizziness makes it less reset heavy in that regard. However, making it harder to predict hidden dizziness fighting an archivist sounds a little spooky to me,
Huh.
personally.
Yeah, fair enough. So shall we move on to the next topic here?
What's the next topic?
Well, I didn't really put these in order, but it was just individual stories from the week. Interesting things that might happen to everyone, to their characters. Anything out of the norm or stand out to you guys as to what happened this week with you?
I had another sighting of these like thugs that Sid's had a couple interactions of, or with actually. And whenever I like run into that storyline, it's really fun because whoever's controlling them like will definitely entertain the idea of humoring you if you have a good idea, or like any idea. Um, Sid asked to see their boss, and the thug started negotiating, asking him, "Hey, can you help me kill this Carnifex right next to you?"
Hmm.
I really appreciate when storytellers are willing to work with people.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. Yeah, go ahead, Iyaku.
Oh, I was just gonna say there's been some neat, I don't want to get like too far into it because it's not really my thing. There's just been some neat call suit related stuff recently.
Okay.
And that's been fun.
Yeah, I think for me, I've had some personal RP go on with someone, like a newer character that I met. And speaking of new characters, there's been a lot of like random like new blood in Honorian and the Templars the last week, so that's been cool. I've been helping them out. There's been some returning people like Tristram. I was helping him out a bit. Things like that. Nothing too crazy out of the norm this past week for me though, I think. So that's been fun. I feel like honestly, like there's been some really cool things in Anatolia this week as usual, but I feel like it's been kind of slower than what we were used to, the past few months. So, which is not
Yeah, I think
bad.
a lot of it has been Midnight Serpent related, and since I got mine early on once and wanted to make sure other people had an opportunity to get theirs done, it's
Yeah.
been kind of slow for me in that regard. But now that it's every 2 hours, I think I'm feeling more of an opportunity to get going with that and push some more RP aspects of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the spawn time going up, I think a lot more people are going to be busy with the event. I like the idea of kind of letting it breathe. So I think we spent like the exact amount of time letting the Midnight Serpent kind of do its thing and keep everybody busy. Um, just like talking in terms of like an activity standpoint,
Yeah.
because like it lets everybody kind of like collect their thoughts on it and everything. Um, and I I would say overall, making it available more often will definitely make me busy because I don't really want to pay gold for these prizes and they're all cool.
I just remembered actually. I think there was something this week. I don't know if you guys remember exactly what day it was because we were talking about it a little bit on web. Hearn, Ome, and Chakrasul showed up to Rasani's bar.
Oh, okay. I was not there for that. I did not know.
I think that was this week. Um, it seemed pretty impromptu. Um, it was pretty fun. I think I haven't gotten to interact with every God player, but I have gotten to interact with Hearn and Ome a lot, and I think they're doing a great job. And I had a short interaction there with Chakrasul, which was more like Chakrasul interacting with other people while I was there, which also very well played, very cool. I think all the gods lately, when I've seen them, have been doing a very good job.
Yeah.
But it was just a pretty fun interaction. Hearn bit somebody's head off.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. And then did the classic apple on the head trick with Aku, and the force of the arrow hitting the apple off Aku's head knocked him out. Like
Nice.
literally afflicted me with unconscious
Nice.
damage. So that was a very fun interaction overall.
Very
I
cool.
think.
Yeah. Speaking of gods, I think the most interaction. Oh no, I think I actually saw Ome in person this past week. I can't remember. That might have been the week before, but Ethne was in Anorian at the Temple of the Gods before we went live here. That was cool. Hadn't seen her in person in a little while. Um, she she built a spoiler alert, but she essentially built the ship's steering wheel for the new ship and gave it to Isia in front of all of us. So that was
Oh, did
cool.
Ethne forge it?
Yes.
That is cool.
Yep. Yep. So that was cool. We'll see how that all plays out. Maybe later this evening from the sound of it. So,
That ship's gonna do great things.
yes, it is. And we I don't know that we said anything about it last time, but there was a referendum in Anorian to take. Well, we took ideas for ship names for the ship, and a ton of people submitted them, and then all of them were put in referendum. And it turned out the one that won was the one ship name that two people submitted the same ship name without coordinating on it. Ended up winning it, right? And it was actually me and Srine that submitted the ship name. And it wasn't coordinated at all. Like we just had the same idea randomly, but ended up being called Dawnbreaker. So
That's pretty good. I like that.
yeah.
I actually touching a little bit back on the Midnight Serpent thing because I meant to bring this up and completely forgot. Enorian is pretty much the only sapient naval power, isn't it?
I think that's what people say, but I'm not real sure. I guess it would make
I
sense.
can't think of anything else. Like there are a bunch of ferries and a bunch of docks, but Enorian is the only port city that comes to mind. Spines reaches in the mountains. Bloodlock is in a volcano. Duiran is in the woods.
Yeah, I can't think of any other docks or navy. It's interesting.
So if you're like the Dracothi and historically approach us through Sidve, then it definitely makes sense to go after the port city first.
Yeah. I think there was talk of that when the docks were on fire, like when I think Saiden mentioned that in character at the time. So, yeah, I just wasn't sure if that was true or not, but I guess it is and it makes sense. And I was going to say, Dave said in chat, the vulture landed on my shoulder during one of my Evelyn sermons. That was nice. I do RP most of the time. It's sermons, just saying. And that, we could kind of skip ahead to the sermons and milestones things if you guys would like.
I was
Yeah,
gonna
that's fine
say,
with me. And have fun with D&D, Eliodon.
so I'll start this by saying, like, I try not to hold OMA sermons very often. I tried to make them kind of like a special thing, specifically because I had an opinion similar to what seems to be here. I'm really glad they lowered the cost. I would be fine with it not rewarding anything, um, and just kind of making it something more special for every order. But uh, I think lowering how much it rewards you to just kind of do it, you know, on the hour or on the howling is a great idea because it lets people kind of pull back and think about that.
Yeah.
Because I am absolutely guilty of showing up to a sermon, saying thanks, and then dipping out for milestone points. So I definitely see where that change is coming from and kind of agree. But I do think, like Yatabe points out, there are definitely some people doing more RP with their sermons, especially lately. I think Tiani has been doing less like sermons and more like unofficial sermons talking about the Legion.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen someone shouting about doing similar things with Ivoln. Not 100% sure who that is off the top of my head.
Motrek, I think.
Yeah, I've
Yeah, that
seen
person
that.
right there.
I think those are really good touches because instead of having the mechanical sermon, it's still a sermon, but less scripted in that sense, I guess. Especially because that way you get people who know they're showing up for. I'm sorry about my dog. I don't know what he's barking at.
It's okay.
That way you get people showing up knowing that they're coming in for RP rather than coming in to get their milestone and dip out.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think maybe some more additional effort could have went into having both be possible, like it make more sense in character and then also give the two. But I think for that, some of us would probably need more encouragement by the god. So. But I mean, and actually on my end of I hardly ever did sermons. I think I've done maybe like what 3 now in the past month or something like that. But before, like one of the times when Demario was active, they actually purposefully gave more of us the ability to do sermons and told us to do them more often, and told me more than once. So I don't know.
I think it just kind of cements it as more RP in general.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, Yatabe points out, you can still show up to multiple sermons. You can still do all this. You can still do the sermons and everything. It just is cementing it. Like, yes, you do get like a slight mechanical bonus for this, but ultimately it's an RP tool.
Yeah. In general, regardless of what it is, I'm not really. I don't like nerfing milestone gains. I feel like there should be more stuff to do. Like we should add more milestone stuff. Um, I'm more on board with like buffing things than like nerfing things. But it is what it is. It's not the like for me personally, it's not the end of the world. I hardly ever like get 2 of my milestones from sermons in particular. Like I usually get them from other things. So, but I get why they did it. But anyway, let's move on. I put a topic on here for pronounce this week, we're gonna do this again. This should be fun. I thought it would be fun to. I know some of the Solani names just from Discord and other things, so I thought it would be fun if we went through and pronounced some of the Solani names.
Whoo boy.
Yeah, let's
All right,
go.
I call Wyatt.
Wyatt's obviously an easy one, but let's go. I'm gonna start honorsing some of them that I can remember, like Helra, who was in here in our chat before. How would you guys pronounce Helra? That's how I would pronounce it.
Just like that.
Yeah, Hailra.
Helra. Okay. Let's see who else.
I love her honors.
Yeah. What about that one? I don't know if you guys are watching the stream or not, because we've seen them in Discord before.
Sarayan, I think.
Sarayan. What about you?
Yeah, Saran.
I think you could also make the argument that it's like a ch noise, Charain. But
Yeah.
Interesting. Let's see who else. Well, this is an easy one, right? Brax. I mean, that's a pretty easy one. I'm trying to find hard ones here, but
Braximus Maximus.
yep, that's a good one. Braximus Prime. Okay, who else? Who else? Man, let's see if there's any. Oh, can't forget her. Oh, her honors has changed since the last time I looked at it. That's cool. Selena.
Silena.
Silena.
yeah, I would tend towards Selena
Selena. Okay.
or Silena. Yeah, one of the two. It sounds a little bit like Silenos, which I'm probably mispronouncing, but is I think it's satyr name.
Well, we see this person on Discord right now, so let's see. That seems like it might get pronounced in a few different ways. Zahea, maybe Zahea.
Zahea.
Yeah, I think Zahea. I think you could maybe pronounce it Zahaya with the EI there, but I think Zahea makes the most sense visually.
Gotcha.
I've never seen her honors. I like that.
Let's check out our old friend Teddy. Hello there. Ted Renai.
Yeah, Tedranai.
Yeah.
Pretty easy one, huh? Let's see.
I'm pretty sure it's 3 Wheel of Time fans on today, so
Oh my gosh, look at this honors. I feel like this has also changed since the last time I saw it.
be sure to respect the apostrophe.
Ra.
I'm pretty sure we're on ad break. I'm not sure.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah, we just hit an ad break.
okay. We'll
Probably Twitch.
wait. We'll wait 30 seconds here for everybody to catch up.
I think it was a short one.
Pretty sure we're back.
This
Okay.
one I'm not sure about because it sounds like raw, like a roar sound.
Right.
But then there's the apostrophe.
Ra.
Raw, maybe. Yeah.
I mean, look at the thing at the bottom of the fame. Also, raw.
Because I usually see the apostrophe there is supposed to be like a glottal stop, whatever that means. But yeah, like a stop in the word, a notable pause.
Let's see. Let's see if I can see anybody else on Discord to pronounce. Oh, there's one. There. How could I forget this person? Obviously, well, seems like a play on the word exasperate, so I guess Zasper.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Zasper.
Gotcha. What do you think, Yaku?
I'm in the same boat as Asfer.
I see. I don't even know if that's all the Solania. It's all the ones that I see, regularly on Discord and stuff, or has been in chat here.
I would assume there's
I mean,
several more that just aren't as public.
right.
They're Solani names.
And then there's of course Wyatt, who I have targeted. But it was cool to look at all their honors and stuff, though. Well, that was fun. Let's see here. What else were we going to talk about? How did you guys feel? I only got to go to like Orrery once this season, but how did you all feel about Orrery this season? Much the same? Was there anything interesting?
It was pretty much the same. I think Orrery is kind of fine as is, but I don't think there's much of a reason to participate if you're not looking for group PK. And so if people don't contest or, and there's nothing wrong with not contesting, to be clear. Only go to PvP if you're interested and you want to. So if people don't contest, then sometimes I just won't bother showing up, or I'll show up to get 2 milestones once a day, basically.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I find any version of Orrery kind of boring. I just do. I kind of wish we could like retire it and move the system to like a different scenario, or like make the scenarios more varied or something, kind of like how majors are. But yeah, Snorrery pretty much. And it's no fault to people who have sat there and try to make it more entertaining. It's kind of a hard thing to fix, I think.
I mean, it's absolutely improved since the days you had to sit there for 3 hours, even if no one was contesting.
What about a contention type where it's like a 4v4, and then the winner of the 4v4, like with a kill lead or something, gets the orb?
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with any like change ideas to Orrery, because I don't hate Orrery. I just don't find it super engaging, and I gotta be honest, I don't really care about the rewards that much. It mostly plays out in making me use cures every 4 hours.
Hey man, I like doing my fracture runs for the day, and then all of a sudden I'm like attacking much faster, and I get it done like 5 minutes sooner than normal.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a bad reward by any means, but for me, I spend a lot of time sitting around kind of idling. I don't bash a lot. I show up to group PK maybe half the time I get the option. So it's just kind of like, cool, I have some more health right now.
Yeah.
There goes my antibiotic again.
Do you guys think it would be also more fun if perhaps, like you said, like with majors, like if Orrery was able to like happen in other areas other than the same area over and over and over?
I don't want the same area, or sorry, I don't want a different area, because I kind of like the idea of the scenario being different, but always knowing how the battlefield looks.
It would be cool if there was something to do with like Yudhishthira's corpse and Orrery.
Okay, yeah.
I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that right. There are way too many H's in that name.
And as long as at the end of it your team wins a point, you can really do any scenario type. Like you could do a capture the flag one where if you capture the flag or whatever, you get the orb and you can infuse it.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing it be unique. I would like to see it if like they could come up with more different rewards, and then like whichever tether wins Orrery gets to like pick the rewards for the tether, like on each level that they won. Instead of it just being the same reward every time. Maybe like if you win level 5, you can pick from all the level 5 rewards. Things like that. I don't know. Something
if you
different.
win level 5, everyone gets 5 credits.
No, just like
perfect.
Maybe it doesn't need. Maybe level 5 doesn't need to be the noon buff every time. Maybe it could be a different choice from like 3 other things. That sort of thing. But I don't know. Something to make it unique and interesting, or varied in some way.
Yeah, I mean, Mr. Brooks pointed out something that could be cool, and I agree. The winner gets some sort of mechanical change to an area. Probably Sidve. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I've often thought it would be cool to see like, yeah, that'd be kind of cool if there was like a bashing area that opened up if you want to worry that only your tether could go in.
Or there's two, one for Spirit, one for Shadow, and whoever wins that season, that's the one that's open to everybody.
Yeah, that'd be cool too.
Or it could be like quests that open up,
Yeah.
or yeah, all sorts of fun stuff.
I'm
I
down
think
for
they
all
could do.
that.
But yeah, again, like Mr. Broke said, it would be probably significant coding. So
Yeah. It's one of
I
those
just think it
things.
would be neat.
Yeah, it's one of those things that like maybe they'll fix one day when they get time, you know. Might be more pressing matters, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure the list is huge.
Right.
I think Exynos has mentioned the list a couple times.
Yeah. Any of these crazy large lesser battles we've had recently stand out to you guys? I know there's been some interesting ones from this past week, I thought. Especially that one that had a Valamon at it again.
Yeah, I mean, I love every
yeah.
time a Valamon shows up. Huge fan.
There are a couple where towards the end of it, I was like, this is absolutely going to be a Valamon Lesser or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think it's really just based on like how hard both sides fight. But it's been really cool every single time it's shown up.
Yeah.
I mean, a hot take, but if a Valamon was a Sapience god, I might be an Valamon worshiper.
Ethne's
I
over
love
there
that
giving you
theme.
side eye.
Yeah, I mean, I love Ethne too, but if Valamon is like
Battle and
a little
fire
bit
and rage.
more force of nature,
Yeah.
I feel like, and I like that a lot in the concept of fantasy divines.
Yeah. Valamon's basically the red haze of blood fury you get that comes over the horizon when you're fighting too much. But Wyatt over here taking notes on Iaku mid chat. But then, there's also, we can mention I'm sure it's a bit of a sore spot for Shadow, but like Severn blessing Spirit Tether for staying and killing the demons when Shadow wouldn't last time. That was fascinating.
I felt kind of bad because there were shadow people there.
Yeah.
So I hope they also got a blessing.
Right.
Yeah, I think they also got blessed.
That's good. I wonder if they can bless people that are in an area then. I don't know. That's just me thinking out loud. But yeah, that was interesting. The Valamon was interesting. I think this past week was when we had the interesting lesser that was like right outside of Enorian as well. That we were there was lots of discussion about.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I was barely involved in that one. I think I showed up to like one of the fights and then like stood on someone else. And that's pretty much it. I was just kind of like, this one is rough. I'm going to go back to Dwirin, basically.
The lesser that bumped right up against Enorian's gates.
Yeah. I thought maybe you might want to talk about that. Yeah, it was pretty wild. There's a lot to be said about it. I did paste the little log from my perspective of getting me and Zima both getting pushed by Church's River into Enorian's guards, and that the fact that like it was a bug that like I got pushed by River while I was flying, which is kind of bizarre.
I think it's like universally or near universally agreed that like lessers just shouldn't bump up against the gates of a city.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially with how rating rules work.
Yeah.
I don't know how that would be coded though to fix it.
Like there was a pretty serious discussion about like, where do we draw the line on that? Like, what's the etiquette on that? What do we like? Would you issue for this? Like, and they were like very valid questions. But I think in this case, like, it's questions we don't necessarily need to have to deal with. Like, if we just don't have lessers bump up against gates.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, ultimately, I'm not gonna complain if I get killed because I accidentally walk through aura on my way into a city or something. I can understand why it's frustrating. I would definitely be like, well, that sucks. But I think especially there's not a whole lot of time in a lot of lessers to determine who you're hitting. Um, so I think it's just safer to make it so that they're not going to be right outside of a city. Make it so that people are going to be able to get back without accidentally walking through aura if they're not PK or they're not interested in it right now for whatever reason.
Yeah.
I think that's probably the best result because it wouldn't bother me that much to die in that situation. But I can see why it is very frustrating for people.
Yeah. I just think that it's happened enough, and I know it doesn't happen very often, but it's still happened enough over the years to where you'd think that this would have already been addressed, honestly. Like, because, I'm pretty sure that's why I got an enemy to Bloodlock, like, close to 2 years ago now, was because I was following Benedicto during a lesser, and he led us in front of Bloodlock, and then they just enemied all of us. So, and I'm not paying gold for that. I refuse. So,
I mean, I want to get it out of the way. I don't think it's so big of an issue that like if resources need to be diverted or like stop the presses kind of thing. It's really not that bad. It's just that when it happens, there's usually some tough to navigate topics, like in terms of like what everyone finds acceptable. Because as you mentioned, some people got like pushed into guards. And some people felt like they were lured into guards, or like we were setting them up to be pushed into guards from a very large distance. So there's a lot to it. I think people just kind of have to come to an agreement on what's okay, or just kind of throw the rule book out.
yeah. I mean, and if they're not going to officially rule on it or change it or anything, then I guess we have to, like you said, as players, just deal with it in our way, whatever that is. So
Yeah, I mean, like it kind of just comes down to etiquette, like has been touched on, and with a community even as small as Atolia's is, a lot of people are going to have different opinions on what is um, the correct etiquette for whatever's going on. I think, like, if I have aura because I am outside a city and and the lesser's outside the city and I get pushed into the city and killed by guards, I mean, fair enough. Personally, I think that's it's a little silly, but
yeah,
it's also like a clever way to split people. And like we mentioned earlier, I think the best solution is just try and make it so that lessers don't spawn right outside cities. But
yeah.
until then, I think
Until
it is
then,
just kind of an etiquette thing.
yeah. Yep, yep, yep. Yep. But that was some interesting stuff that happened this week. So we can move on here. There was a few things that I kind of threw up there. I don't know how much crafting either of you do these days, but there was a thing that happened with me a while back where, in regards to crafting, I was going to customize my antiquated gauntlet, and at the time I was having Urzabet's player help me design it, and she wanted to, because like she's played a long time and she's had experience in the past with producers allowing her to like suggest new materials and then they put them in the game, and she wanted to do that at the time, and then basically Tier told her after like us 2 months waiting, said that oh, we're not doing that anymore. And I wonder what, if that's a good or bad thing now. What I wonder what Ictennis's view is on that, or if it matters at all. But I was just kind of thinking about that the other day. Any opinions on that?
Yeah, I mean, I would love to see more materials, and I think it would be
Like
great
crafting
if
materials?
yeah, and I think it would be great if some opinions of players or suggestions from players could play into what new materials go in. But I also think it's kind of like a specific situation. We don't need to go super in depth um, about where um, sometimes uh, you might make a certain material that's suggested, and then the next one is much more outlandish, and you have to explain, yes, we did introduce this new material because it was asked for, but no, we can't introduce your material.
Right.
And you have to kind of deal with, like, are people going to be reasonable about that or not? And I think for the most part, people are, but they
Yeah.
aren't always.
Yeah, I was just thinking about it the other day because I know that was a tier ruling at the time. I was like, I wonder what Tennis thinks about that. But obviously,
I mean,
he's
I'd
not
love
on
to see
here.
more
But
medals, for example.
yeah, that was what it was at the time. She wanted to, I think it was Sunsteel or something like that she wanted to introduce into the game, for the purposes of what we were doing with my gauntlet. But you know, we waited and waited and waited, and then like a month or two later, he like finally responded after we pestered him 800 times, and said no basically. So I went with what I have now.
I have actually something kind of adjacent to this. Maybe like a year and a half ago at this point, um, Baku asked us like to suggest like more cooking materials or like really just any more materials at all. And I know a couple of us put in requests and we never really heard anything about it. And I was wondering if like that's something like we could ask about a status update for.
Right.
Because I had asked for like a certain type of peppercorn, but it's like very regional, so it would have to be like fit into an area or something somewhere.
Right.
Um, so but I know that they occasionally do ask, "Hey, do you have ideas to add things?"
Yeah. And I think my guess is like because I'm betting that she used to like she played the game a long time, so she probably used to do it like when Gallius or Rosmail was producer, and she just like assumed, well, they've done this all the time before, why aren't they doing it now? And it's just one of those things, obviously, that's like producer to producer. But yeah, I wonder if it's worth asking, you know, them how they feel about it now, since the producer has changed. And who knows, maybe Baku has changed again. Who knows? I know I don't. But yeah, that was just something I wanted to bring up. I know we don't talk about crafting very often on here, but it was something that was on my mind. Let's see here.
I think if we were going to touch on like specifics, I would love to see like a foresty metal put in. Like, I know we have like iron and obsidian for a lot of like
Shield
metal
bark.
adjacent things, but yeah, I mean,
Shield
shield bark is good, Paponval is good, I think, but I would love to see. I don't know. I know there's like dragon bone somewhere, but that's not super accessible to me. Um,
Make something called Dendrite.
yeah, it's something just like a cool, maybe bone white with green shimmer metal. I don't know, just throwing an idea out. I think that would be fun. I think just more metals in general, I will be happy with anything. And I do have to step away for a bit because vacuuming.
Yep. Yaku is stepping away because there will be a loud vacuum cleaner. Apparently, we can handle a dog barking, but we cannot handle a vacuum cleaner, which is fair.
Vacuums are loud.
They are.
That's why dogs bark at them.
True. They are, in fact, louder than dogs.
So you have mob messages and denizen letter system on
Yes.
here.
Yep.
Do you have like specific thoughts on this?
Well, it was like I'm not gonna say the specifics of it, but like I've wondered for a while how the hell I would like go about getting, a Solani or anyone really to have the Dwamvi mobs in Anorian in the Bastion pay attention and like do anything. So I foolishly tried to message a particular Solani about it, and I did not get a response. And then Ictennis like messaged me about like, hey, you should use these things. Um, but he was, I wasn't in trouble, and he wasn't even mean about it or nothing. But it just made me think about it, and then I started. I think I used mob message on one of them recently. And I guess they are not interested probably in doing anything with that because I didn't get a response. But I was thinking about using the Denizen letter system because I haven't used it yet, so I was kind of curious, if anybody's used Denizen letters yet, if how effective they think they are.
Who are you trying to get in contact with specifically?
No, I don't know that that's it doesn't
Okay.
matter, does it? I mean, but yeah, like I just have never used the Denizen letter system yet, and I still need to get around to doing it. I've just been busy doing other things, but I did use mob messages. Is that what you meant? Like, is that what you were asking? Like, which mob, or were you asking about the Solani?
No, which denizen? I don't.
Oh, okay. I thought you were asking about the Solani for a second. It was one of the it was the trainer mob in the Bastion, the one that like trains in the courtyard.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just like I mob messaged them and was like, hey, I would like to train with you sometime. Which to me makes sense since the Dwamvi taught the Templar, so I don't know. I just wanted to get something going. It would be nice to have a conversation and ask Dwamvi questions about Dwamvi. I don't know.
Have you ever spoken? Has Eric's ever spoken with a bot?
One time, but like with a crowd because Abon was last played when I had this character new about like the end of 2019.
Were you there when a bot came with us to a lesser?
Yes, I was. And you know what? I was research minister then too, and I recorded him a city point.
That was so fun.
Yeah, it was hilarious, and people were so mad about it. But yes, I saw a Bond there, but that was the last time I saw a Bond. So,
As a side note, I'm totally fine with like Avarash showing up and like punking me one day. I really don't care. I think having those moments where you get to be side by side with like a very important NPC is like very like mission affirming. Like
yeah,
it feels good for that player. As long as it happens for both sides, like with some regularity. I'm not sure people care, but um the reaction at the time might say otherwise. So
yeah. Well, it's like I've said on here before, like if you honors a Bond, as somebody that is Dwamvi, and Aban is one of the Dwamvi that came and initially made us Dwamvi and helped the Templar become the Templar and stuff. It's like I have no idea what Ubaran Shield of the Host is. Like I have no idea what Amlesh is. Like there's seemingly no lore for any of it in any events or announce posts, and it's like I don't
have
know.
you have you tried to like contact him directly and just like ask for a little bit of explanation or something?
You can't find you can't go to him in the Bastion, and in order to mob message something, you have to be in the same room. Yeah, so that might be a denizen letter thing I need to do. But my idea was to like, hey, maybe like get a conversation going with the other Dwamvi and then maybe lead it into that. But it is what it is. I know people are busy doing a million things right now, obviously, but that was just kind of my experience with mob messages, and I was just thinking about it. I thought maybe you guys might have had some anecdotal like usages of it to talk about.
Um, the Astral Nobles are all like technically members of Ome's order. So I'm fairly sure like if we were to approach one of them, or like if any Onirimitsu were to approach one of them, they like might get some bites. I was working on something for that, like just sending something out to some of them. And like those mobs also send letters too.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah. So that is one way you can do it. I've heard of people having success with mob message.
Yeah.
Specifically like just like being able to have like a quick conversation to like ask an opinion. But like most of my experiences come from just walking up to the mob and talking to it.
Yeah, I've tried that too. It's okay though. I don't take it too hard. It just is what it is. I I wish I could get some interaction from the Dwambi, because I honestly don't even feel like there's too many new Dwambi being created, and I think a lot of that's because like a lot of newer people just don't know anything about them, or aren't even told they exist anymore. It's like they sit in their own little corner of Venorian, and hardly anyone goes there. So, but you know,
I know there were at least 2 people in Dwirin considering it. But I think I've mentioned before that Eiko is the only person I've seen recently in Dwirin who has the Duambi subrace. So
yeah,
I think a lot of it, at least as Dwirin is concerned, is there isn't a lot of player representation either.
right. That's what I mean. Like it's like,
I remember when it first came out, and a lot of the Sentinels were like looking at each other, like, I'm not gonna let any, and I'm not gonna put no glowworm in my chest. I think Iku was the only one who was like, yeah, sure, I'll do it.
of
Yeah.
course.
And then he got called a glowworm for a few weeks, but worthwhile.
Goodness. I was at morning prayers this past week, and there was a few people there. It was myself, Anarissa, uh Urun Milla, I think that's how you pronounce their name, and then someone named Renault that was new. And they were talking, and I did the form light or whatever, or form globe, and gave them all a globe of light. And like none of them except Anarissa, who was in the Illumini, even knew what the hell it was. So, you know, anecdotally, that just goes to show what I mean. People don't even Some people don't even know what the hell a Dwambi is. That just shows how kind of like forgotten they seem to be right now.
I am suspecting, and I think a lot of people are suspecting, that one of the mirror classes will probably be Duombi related in
Yeah,
some way.
I think
And I'm
it probably
hoping
will be
that
Prey
kind of,
Nomen. That's my
yeah,
guess.
I'm hoping that kind of like rejuvenates it a little bit because I like Duombi. I don't think they've done a whole lot recently.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. I'm not in Nenorian. I'm not in any of the guilds related to them. I'm just kind of like tangentially related by having the subrace.
Right.
Just speaking from my own experience.
Yeah, there's a clan, and at least in Anorian, and I think it's obviously it's all the whole Spirit Tether, but there's a clan that you join that's like Illumini ran, that people that take Dwambi join, even if they're not in the Illumini. And but I don't even see us talk about anything on there ever. I don't know that I've ever seen us use that clan to talk at all. But yeah, don't want to get too down about Dwambi, but like that was just kind of my experience. I was trying. I think I'll do what you suggested though, and maybe use Denizen letter to try and write a letter to a bond. Maybe he'll respond.
Yeah, I have gotten. I came back right as you were talking about denizen letters, I think, and I didn't want to interrupt, but I have gotten some response using them,
That's good.
which I think is very promising.
I don't know how often it's checked, but I think much like Abarash, Aban counts as an actual player character, so it might be easier to message him or mail him a letter directly with the postal system.
Ah, fair enough. Yeah, he's definitely a shell, like Abarash. So yeah, it was still like super hilarious to watch him like spam, Battle Fury double strike or whatever, like 8 times in a single attack. Like literally, whenever they play that character, he has no balance like requirements. He just can spam his abilities, and that's hilarious to me anyway. But yeah, I mean, I think we've mostly went through our topic list for the week. Is there anything else you all wanted to discuss?
No, not really.
No.
Yeah, there's a lot of. I mean, we covered a lot of topics that I had like larger thoughts about this week. Like, especially where the Midnight Serpent stands.
Yeah.
I think the lesson I am taking away from it is, how much like simple interaction with people outside my comfort zone is, good for me, or like how beneficial it can be.
Yeah. And I do wonder, if all of this is continuing to lead to like tethers being less important because it
I think
really
in
feels like it.
I think in world events like this, tethers exist in the background, but it is the entirety of the player characters against, a nameless, faceless threat, or a threat we do know. But ultimately, like during those times, like when we're on shift, the people on the opposite tether, those are just our coworkers. We work together, we cooperate. When we're off shift, we fight each other and bash each other's head and troll temples and lessers. So like sometimes it's hard to switch gears like that, but like once you start doing it more, it's really beneficial when you're approaching these events, I think.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? I think it's a lot like the Chaos War in that regard,
Yeah.
where I really liked the Chaos War.
Yeah,
Um,
I was not around for that.
it was a good time, and I think the Chaos War is a good example of how, even though obviously in character the tethers have irreconcilable differences, um, there are greater threats that even a vampire and a devout Templar are going to group up against. And I think hopefully that will mean we see more Dracothi stuff, because I think Dracothi are a really good uh, slot in for that sort of threat, because they are walking and or flying war crime generators. Um,
um
so yeah, I think they're a good fit for that sort of thing.
how
Dracothi being related to them, we don't know if Dracothi are actually going to show up in this event, but it's like the little brother of the historical huge baddie.
um leaders of orgs, like guilds, cities, orders, like get involved, like however you have to justify it. Because like I think the more people that get involved, the cooler of a story it'll be. um so just kind of keep that in mind going forward, I think.
Yeah. And I wanted to remind everybody who happens to be listening to us in another window, I opened the credit giveaway for the week. So if you want to enter that, just type ticket or exclamation ticket in chat. And then, yeah, we'll probably do that in a couple minutes. I'm not sure which weekday this week that we're going to try and do the extra stream. I know that Thanksgiving is coming up, and I actually don't think I have any days off between now and Thanksgiving, because my paid days off and all the days off they give me at the state are Thursday through Sunday. So I do get 4 days in a row off, but it's like all after the holiday or during the holiday,
Templar Tuesday.
Templar
That's what I'm hoping
Tuesday.
for.
I think actually though, all the weekdays I work this week are only till 2 p.m. So instead of like 5, 6, or 7. So maybe we could squeeze something in there after I get done with work.
Yeah, regarding Thanksgiving, I still waiting for that work laptop to show up, but then I have an interview on Tuesday and then on Wednesday. So, busy week.
Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting week. Always is during the holidays. We also, I guess I could kind of mention it now that I'm remembering it, but between now and then, I think we have the auction ending soon, right? I believe it's in the next 2 days, actually. Let's see here.
27 hours.
Yeah, 27 hours.
Yeah, that custom pet looks so cool. Honestly.
Yep. I mean, I guess I could type both of them here. Shows you which ones I'm looking at. I don't have credits, really enough credits to bid on any of that, so I'm going for something in the gold.
Yeah, I don't have the gold or the credits, but I look at it from a distance and I'm like, that custom pet, really cool idea.
Yeah. I broke my rule and I did tell 2 people what I'm bidding on. So, but I don't think they're going to tell anyone. That one of them was Renee. She was like wanting to know because she didn't want to like potentially bid on something I had bid on. So, and then she was thankful when she realized I was not bidding on it. But yeah, it should be interesting to see what happens with these. Typically, people really try to push for them the last day or so. So maybe by this, obviously it ends on Howling on Monday. So and should be good. Oh, let's see. Let's see what kind of credits Nipsey has for sale on stream here. Ah, that's not that much cheaper. Not needs to be cheaper. I could probably just use all my gold and buy every credit that's up right now, but I don't think I want to do that. I did that once before after the first auction earlier this year. That was fun.
Yeah, I am curious to see how the credit market will change after the auction, because obviously it's going to be a
Yeah.
lot of gold sunk into it, a lot of credit sunk into it, and I know people like to build their reserves back up after these. So
Yeah, for sure. The auctions always seem to affect the credit market, which is great for people that watch out for that. And it's nice to know that going forward we're going to have 2 of them a year. So as long as Ictennis's reign is long and bountiful, we will have 2 a year. And things have been going great since he started. I'm interested to see where they go from here. I'm sure they're going to have a lot of cool stuff between now and the new year. So, long live Mr. Tinus. Yep. That's everybody was calling him Ichty or whatever whenever he first started, and I was one of the ones that was like, you should call him Tinny. Tinny. But
just a quick reminder, because I think I did see that the number of people watching went up.
yeah, I mean,
The
we could keep
giveaway is still
going.
going on, right? Or
Yeah. Hello, Artsy Fartsy. Yeah, everybody that's joined, we're doing the giveaway right now. You can type exclamation ticket to enter if you want to.
Maybe we should take this as like a sign. Maybe start the Sunday stream a little later.
I guess so.
Chat, do you have opinions?
Does what time would everyone prefer we start the streams on Sundays from now on? Because we just kind of went with this, but we weren't really like dead set on this specific time. I know. I feel like I haven't seen you around in game much, Artsy Fartsy. It makes me sad. But I did want to let everybody know now that there's more people in here that even though Phoenicia's not playing again and she and all that, but she helped us out and helped me out and made the subscription badges for me recently. She did it on her own stream yesterday, and it looks like everybody that's in chat that has a subscription badge up is using their founder badge, so you might not necessarily see it. So I can just type something in chat and everybody can see mine. There's the I think that's the, like the 2-month one. Yeah.
oh, so it's like the phases of the moon.
Yep.
Kind of thing.
And then when you get to 1 year, it becomes a blood moon. Yep. 9 months
Oh, well,
is
I'm
a
glad
full
you
moon.
found your cat, Artsy.
Oh man, I hear you, for real. That's awesome. Well, not awesome that you had to do it, but it's awesome that you found her. But let's see here. Let's see what we got. We've got 9 people entered out of 15 people in chat. I might have to close it here soon. But I mean, we could keep going if you guys want. If there's anything else to talk about, but I think we're mostly done, huh?
We talked about mob messages, right?
Yeah, a
That
little
was part
bit.
of the letter stuff.
Yeah.
Did we mean like because I wasn't here?
Oh, okay.
I was dealing with some stuff. Did we mean like messaging mobs?
Yes.
As in like sending them a message? Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if we were talking about like new attack messages that
No.
mobs have or something.
I was just like, because there's the whole mob message system where you can leave them a message, but only if you're in the same room. So I was just wondering if you guys had ever used that and what you think about that whole system, like your success or not.
Oh
with
yeah, I've only done like the letters, which has been part of like an ongoing personal adjacent RP arc. I can't really tell. It's trying to involve more people, but it's one of those things that might just be slow burn. We'll find out.
Gotcha.
I'd like to ask chat if they have ideas for topics. I know there's like a bits redemption for that, but if you could like get it for free, free
Yeah.
99 bargain right here.
That's right.
Like,
We'll give you the whole 3-piece and a soda, Yeah, I mean, like, we kind of blew through these topics, and I know typically we've went longer. We've only been live for about an hour and a half, so. Uh-oh, story time. Who in particular would you like to tell you a story, Mr. Brooks? Keep in mind, it can be any story of their choice, not yours.
Does it have to be Atolia related?
Nope. I wrote it that way, so it could be any story you wanted as a person. Hey, Phoenicia. Isid should tell me a story.
once upon a time, at the conclusion of an event, a group of spirit characters went to what would eventually be the astral plane. They completed the final puzzles. They negotiated with a color. We found out the terrible truth of the person who'd been giving us tattoos for the last 2 or 3 weeks. This was after we had solved so many color puzzles and so many other really cool things up there that a lot of you can still access if you were to go up to Astral. Or you can at least see. If you happen to see something in there, you're wondering how it works, you can always ask someone in the order. But this was Ome getting a new shell. This was the very culmination of a couple months of roleplay with a bunch of people in spirit. We watched her new shell fight her old shell. She won, ate her old shell's heart, and then became new Ome. But before any of that happened, the coolest part of the whole event happened. All the mortals who went up to Astral had a jam band session to call Ome back from the depths of the Chaos Plane. We had Unog there, giving a really awesome bass beat. We had Lynn playing a 7-string sitar, I believe. Sid was playing a flute. Sekaris was singing. I believe Jura was playing a violin. We all played a bunch of different instruments, and it calmed down moths long enough to be captured, and then they turned into Ome when we brought them back from the plane. And it was this really cool moment because everybody got to improvise, and everybody got to add their own thing to what ended up being the end of that scene. And it was a great example of letting everyone get involved and adding their own piece to it and collaborating and coming out with this really memorable product. Because I think most people who were present for that will remember it for a really long time. And it's even referenced today in there being an instrument up there on Astral that you can see that is very important to people around there. So I guess this is my convoluted way of retelling the awesome jam band session that a bunch of people had on Chaos.
Well, my thought during the whole thing was, thank goodness that Jura didn't have the stupid parrot that she has now.
Oh my god, that parrot. Can we talk about that parrot? I Church had a great idea, and I hope he does it. But even premotes, even the stuff you say in premotes, if you use the BRB premote, the parrot also parrots that back.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh man. Parrots need to get cooked. Breathe fire at parrot. Oh man. Those parrots.
I love parrots. I used to have a parrot when I was younger. Great birds. Big fan. So I don't know. I might try and grab one of these parrots.
Oh please. The less people that have them, the better. We were trying to do that little event earlier where Ethne gave the wheel of the ship to Isia, and Jura was standing there, of course, and so everything that was being said during this event was being parroted. It was really awkward.
It sounds really funny, but I think in Jura's defense, it wasn't done intentionally.
I
The
know.
parrot was just bugged and could not be dismissed.
Good times. All right, I guess I'm going to draw a winner for this now. Looks like nobody else is entering. All right. If I ever remember to do it, I'm gonna make a soundboard one day, and this is where I would have the drum roll be. So let's see who wins. Embercoat. Goodness, that's you, isn't it, Yaku?
That's Ika.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see here.
Lucky me.
I need to mod you too while I'm thinking about it.
It'll go to his warden fund.
Oh no.
No, it's going to my weaponry fund right now.
Oh my god.
I gotta use bows as
Alright.
Oh my
as
god.
any class. And then my warden fund.
Nice. I don't even know what my fund is for. Like all the things I want to get are like 700-800 credits. But yeah. I'd like to get adaptation eventually. I'd also like to get another class eventually that uses intelligence. But imagine my character being intelligent. I don't know if it would fit. But yeah,
I'm never sure how to RP out the stats from stat packs,
Right?
honestly, for that exact reason.
yeah.
I think we were talking. I don't know if it was here or another time where, like, in D&D there's a set average stat, and I don't know if there's an average stat equivalent in Atolia.
I think it's
I
12
don't. Yeah, so like is 12 average, and
or
then
10, maybe.
But then no one really
Oh.
expects you to roleplay as your intelligence stat.
Oh,
so-
absolutely not.
yeah. I remember watching Asmongold did like a D&D campaign series recently, and he was playing a barbarian that had like almost no intelligence stat, and he was role playing it. It was rather hilarious. Just literally doing the complete opposite of any kind of logical thing in any situation. It was magnificent. But yeah, there's my 21 strength on my, human Dwam V Yeleni werebear. But yeah, I run around with powerful stat pack all the time. I don't care. I've heard people say that you have to have athletic to be good at bashing. I've heard that opinion, and I don't
I
believe
think
that.
athletic is pretty good, but I use athletic because I chose it 4 years ago and have never reincarnated. So
Look at all the things I'm enemy to, and look how many hours I've played this week. That's what, like 36 hours while working 40 something hours. Pretty wild. But yeah,
yeah, I gotta agree with Mr. Brooks. By the way, dexterity is king.
I don't know. I don't know. Then again, I don't really know like what is people's dodge rate with like max dexterity.
That's a good question because it does depend on your class because of the armor you're wearing.
Yeah.
Too, so
like mine with 14 dexterity and wearing field plate is I can never
If
remember
you-
which stat it is on dodge. Is it the red one or the blue one?
If you look at help dodging or getting
Oh.
help dodge, it'll
Well then.
tell you how to calculate that.
Will it? Is it avoidance? Help avoidance? Man, look at
So
that.
it's
Whichever.
the red number I believe is your PvP dodge, and the blue number is your PvE dodge.
Yes.
I see. Ah, look at that. Speed elixir gives you 3%. Fantastic. Yeah. Mr. Brooks said brains are for nerds. I think dodging is for nerds. I'd rather just take the hit and have a high audit. And I think when I'm either in Sisson or Wayfair, using the shield and the armor and stuff, and the physical resist skills they have, I think I can get like 60% cutting, which is pretty crazy.
I had never looked at my Aura Unity audit before a week or so ago, and it is insane.
Yeah. Yeah, there's people that can push it up even higher than that, but I still always find it like strange to me that like all the classes I have that have shield have higher audit than, you know, my class that wears the highest armor in the game. So either field plate isn't great or shields are too good, maybe. I don't know.
I pressed the wrong
Some
button. I think they describe it in universe as field plate being lighter than full plate to allow for some more mobility.
Yeah, but full plate
Which I
doesn't
think
work
historically
like
full plate
exist.
isn't actually going to be too bad for mobility, but it does make sense, I think, from a balance perspective.
Yeah. Yep. I'm still of the opinion that probably the best, most well-rounded bashing class in the game is Wayfarer. Just the speed and the damage it can do is not as much as Templar for me, but like the survivability is just way more. I mean, for fuck's sake, they have a skill called Survive. You know. But that's neither here nor there. Just something I was thinking about.
Also, if you ever looked at AB Tenacity Ambush, it might be my favorite skill in the game. I don't know. If you're enraged and you ambush someone, you crash through any blockers
Nice.
and any I think you break any walls in your way.
Yeah. Or if you're just a shapeshifter and you use neck drag, you know, you get to just ignore everything.
Not ice wall.
Not ice wall.
I know, I'm just being silly.
Enraged ambush, you will break through an ice wall, and that is amazing. I love that.
Didn't we discover recently that it ignores blocks and stuff? The neck drag, I mean.
Neck drag?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think neck drag is stopped by a broken leg, by paresis, or by ice wall, I think.
Yeah.
Which is pretty in line with some other movement abilities, I think.
Yeah, I got neck dragged out by Taz at one of those lessers recently, and I just literally immediately walked back into the lesser room and ice walled behind me before he could come back in.
Yeah, I think that's the play.
Just got to be fast, I guess.
Yeah, and then someone just has to be on ice wall duty.
But yeah, I think we've pretty much ran out of topics. If anybody has any like opinions on when they'd like to see us start the stream from now on Sunday, just let us know. I have every Sunday off from where I work at the state, so, and I usually get up about 8 or 9 in the morning Eastern, so, and then I'm around all day, so it doesn't really matter to me too much. So yeah, we could probably do it whenever in the future. Be on the lookout for maybe Templar Tuesday again. I guess we'll see. Tuesdays at the Vigil, you know.
That's another ad.
Yeah, we need to start doing the ads. We need to. It's definitely part of our list, I guess. I wouldn't mind recording voice work for any ads. I'm usually pretty good with my voice. I can change it quite well, so that would be fun.
Oh no, I mean like there's an ad break going on right now.
Oh, okay, I see. Did not know. Well, shoot.
I have the stream running so I can see chat and stuff, but
yeah, well, from where I have OBS up streaming it, I can see chat inside of OBS and I can see our activity feed on the left, like when people follow and subscribe. But I don't see ads because it's not actually the Twitch website. But yeah, is the ad still going on, or are we back again?
Looks like we're back.
Okay. Well, I guess we're mostly going to get out of here. Sorry for people that came in later. I know it feels like probably a shorter stream for you, but we've been at it for a couple hours here, and I think, like I said, we're probably gonna try to be back sometime during the week, and then we'll probably be back the following Sunday. I hope everybody has a great Thanksgiving week and weekend, and stay safe if you end up trying to want to brave the shopping on Friday. But for me, I'm probably just gonna stay inside. But yeah,
Yeah, I think if I was gonna get anything, I would order it, but I am not in the not in the financial position for that right now. So
yeah, I hear you. Well, we'll see everyone
yeah,
next
happy
time.
Thanksgiving.
Have a great week. Bye.
Bye.
Catch you later.